afternoon. This is Float Fish Farm and we're here on Whitetail pool. It's a nice little pool that we built about 4 years ago. It's stocked with carp and eyed in the main. There's a few roach and rudd, but mainly carp and eyed. 22 pegs, 11 down each side. The slope drops away from about 3 foot in the margins down to about 6 or 7 foot in the middle, and then comes up on the other side. Ends are a little bit shallower. The fish do follow the wind a little bit, and they do tend to move down to pegs 11 and 22, which are normally pretty hot pegs. We've done a lot of reed clearing down that end a few months ago, and it has had the effect of pushing a few fish down to the middle. Middles are not fishing quite so good today. They seem to have been pushed up with this light wind, but it's a great little lake. Carp go to about 14-15 pounds, and there's lots of them. We stocked it at 200 pounds a peg, so there's about a 4,500 pound of fish when we first stocked it. Probably running to 6,500 pound of fish in here now. As I say, carp go to 15 pound, eyed go to 3 or 4 pound, and there's lots of small eyed that bred that are now coming up to 8, 9, 10 inches, which makes for a great day's silver fishing if you want to come with maggot and casters. This is our latest lake, Phoenix Lake, and we've only opened it about 4 weeks ago. We built it over the winter. In fact, we didn't start it till last October, November. We put an island right the way through the middle, and it's our biggest lake on the complex, holding 34 pegs. We have 12 pegs down each long side, 3 pegs down each end, and 4 corner pegs. 4 corner pegs are designated as 13 metre only pegs. All the rest fish to the island, and you'll see that we have marked posts on the island which correspond with the slabs. So if you're sitting on a yellow slab, you fish to the centre of your yellow post. That saves any argument about where you're fishing, who's fishing next to you. Again, stocked with 200 pounds of carp per peg. So we've stocked this with 6,500 pound of carp, ranging in size from a pound up to about 5 pounds. The majority of carp in here are 2 to 3 pounds at the moment. It's also stocked with about 700 eyed, ranging from small up to 2 or 3 pounds, and we've also put 500 barbel in the mix as well for future fishing. Great little lake, about 7 foot deep overall. Fish in front of you, fish to the island, and really comfortable and great for club matches and now opens at Float Fish Farm, which are now getting bigger and bigger. When we get 30 to 40 people here, we run out of space for them, so this is a great addition to the mix. Just behind Phoenix, we're still constructing 3 more lakes. 2 of them will be strips. The next strip will be a 16 metre strip. That'll be open next spring. Again, it'll be stocked with carp, chub and eyed, and that'll be stocked with about 200 pounds per peg and about 10 or 12 pegs. That's going to be a 16 metre strip. The one after that will be a 20 metre strip, and then a 20 to 30 metre lake after that. We're standing in front of Sand Lake. Sand Lake's our catfish and carp lake, 5 swims. It's a 24-hour only lake, and you have to do all the bookings online, and you can book the whole lake if you want, or swims for 1 night, 5 nights, whatever you're fancying. Carp in here go up to 33 pound, and there's some real stunners in here, some lovely ghosties, some big commons, some big mirrors, and the catfish in here go up to 68 pound. There's a good head of catfish in here, probably 30 odd catfish from a few pounds, plenty of 20s and 30s, 2 or 3 40s, and there's a 50 pound, and as I say, the big girl Kimmy came out a few weeks ago at 68 pound, and she's a right handful to get on your lines. She puts a bend in your rod like no others. Most of the guys on here that catch her reckon they take 25, 30 minutes, one even 40 minutes to get her in. She has a tendency to go around the back of the island that you can see down there, and she is a nightmare, but she's a challenge, and that's what you guys love. Here we are on Home Lake. This was our first ever lake on this complex, and it's about 6-7 foot deep, bit of a mushroom in the middle as the bottom comes up. It's our runs water. You can book here for the day on a normal day ticket. You can fish 2 rods, and you can stop here overnight as well, and the guys come and bivvy up. Not booking online, you just turn up. We don't reserve this lake. Great head of carp in here, up to £26. Usually you'll catch 10, 15 good carp, £10 to high teens. And I would say that usually the guys end up pulling their rods in at 2 o'clock in the morning. They just can't keep up with it. So fantastic water. Lots of other stuff in here as well. There's bream, tench, some fantastic perch, good silvers. So a real mixed bag. Also in here there's a really good head of grass carp, up to about £15. Here we are at Tench Pit. It's a tiny little pond, 3 swims only. It's stuffed full of tench, tench to over £8. There's also a good number of golden tench, which run up to about £3 or £4. Unfortunately, there are some carp in here. We originally used it as an overspill pond when we were breeding, and the carp got in here, koi, ghosties and carp, and we systematically try and take them out so that it's tench only, but inevitably we can't get them all out, and every year more and more carp come out. But that's great. If the tench aren't biting, you'll catch a few carp, and they go up to £3 or £4 in here, but the tench go over £8, golden tench as well, and it's a fantastic day's fishing. And if you're looking for some tench, you're almost guaranteed to catch tench on here all year round, even through the winter. Here we are on Lapwing Lake. This is our latest big water carp lake. Carp to over £40 in here, loads of 30s, probably 10 or 12 30s, and dozens and dozens of big 20s. There's about 150 carp in here in total. No catfish, I'm afraid, but only big carp. Big mirrors, massive commons, and some decent ghosties as well. It's a big water, running at about 5 acres plus, 6 swims only. 2 islands now. This is was our biggest lake. Phoenix has now taken over this in number of pegs. This has got 34 pegs on it, but we only really fish it to about 26, 27 maximum. Fishes 34 for pleasure. Very challenging water. It's quite deep in places. Between the 2 islands it drops down to 12 to 14 foot. The other end of the far island again drops down to 10 or 12 foot, and at 2+2 in front of a lot of the swims you're fishing 8 to 9 foot. So deep water, big fish. Carp, commons and mirrors go up to £20 in here, but there's a lot of grass carp up to 10, 12 pound. Big tench, very big head of bream in here which come out now and again, and all the others that go with it, perch, silvers, tench, skimmers. So challenging lake. Depends on what peg you draw. It's not peggy at all. There are a few hot and favourite pegs, but the nice thing about it is the winners come from all around the lake, and a peg can go hot one week and completely stone cold the week after. So you never know when you draw where it is. The anglers that do really well on here are those that come and work it out and don't just stick to one method, but work it out on the day and the peg. It's a great little lake, and we use it a lot for our match fishing. We call it the Great Leveller, this lake. Come down, give it a try. Pleasure fishing, you'll bag up. Match fishing, you need to work it out. This is Kingfisher. It started life quite a few years ago as a silvers lake. We stocked it with chub, eyed, roach and rudd, and we fished it as a silvers lake for 2 or 3 years. As all silver lakes go, they went off very quickly, and you could come on here for months on end and not get a fish. So we decided about 3 years ago to stick 700 or 800 small carp in, all about £half a, and from then on the lake has flown. We get carp coming out now up to 8, 9, 10 pound, and the nice thing is the silvers now come out. The silvers are big. There's roach in here to over £2, there's rudd to over £2, there's perch to over £3, and there's tench, chub and everything in here. Guys can come on here and have a really good day silver fishing and bag a few carp. Also a great lake for the juniors, because you're almost guaranteed to catch all the time, and 40 or 50 pound of silvers, even 100 pound of silvers is not unheard of. get down here, 15 swims. We use it for matches occasionally, especially those people that want to run silver matches, but it's a great day's fishing, especially on light gear. We're on Horseshoe pool now. Great little lake, 22 pegs, obviously horseshoe shaped, stuffed full of carp, eyed, barbel to 4 or 5 pound in here, perch, roach, rudd, everything really. It's a lake that's not overly popular with the match anglers. They do fish matches on it and club matches, but we normally leave it if we can for pleasure anglers because they just love it. It's the sort of lake that once you come down here and have a couple of pleasure sessions on it, you just won't want to go anywhere else. Again, good depth, 7 foot, 8 foot, quite deep in the margins as well, but you can fish to the island, fish to the margins, or fish out in front. Seems to work on all methods, and just a fantastic little lake with 22 pegs on.